Okay, we're back with 2 more nail arts. So this is a tip. I'm going to pretend that it's been an enhanced nail or it's already been prepped as I showed you in the live earlier today. In this case, we would do a base coat to cover the nail. Remember to always practice on your tip like it's a client's finger. You know, we can't go like this on our client, so always pretend long strokes, no bubbles, nice and thin, cap the free edge. Let it allow to set just a moment so that it settles in to give you a nice smooth finish. And you set that in the light for 1 minute. I'm going to show you 2 designs, so I'm going to prep both of these actually. If you guys have messed with cateye, cateye's fun. I like to use cateye for like a galaxy nail, so I'm going to show you that. Because this time of the year and coming up with winter and stuff, it's fun to be able to do the galaxy nails. Let that set a moment, and once you get the smooth finish, then set that in the light. Sometimes we put our hands too quickly into the light and don't allow the gel polish to settle around. Okay. So to do the cateye, they always suggest that it's best to do a layer over black first. So I'm going to use Gira Sky Black to Black. And the cateye I'm going to do today is kind of a deep plum. Elite 99. There's lots of different brands. Like I said, I'm not endorsed by a company, so I get to play around with whatever brands I want. Makes it fun. Okay. Then as you can go, get your bulk to the center of the nail, pillow it up to the cuticle, and drag it down in long strokes. Just like on the nail, I go over it more than one time to make sure that it is completely bonded to the coat underneath. Allow that to smooth out. You can tell my brush strokes are starting to go away. You can see the reflection of the light. It's getting smoother and smoother. Allow your gel polish to settle. And then when you're happy with where it's at, set that in the light and cure. So I'm going to do cateye in 1. And let's see. I don't know what to do on this one. Let's show stamping on this one. So to show stamping, I'm going to do a base of white. I think I'm going to do green and red stamping on it so that you can see the difference in there. Long coats, same way, repeating over and over, making sure that I'm getting one solid good coat. Let it set a moment to where it can smooth that layer out and you don't see the brush strokes. And then when you're happy with that, you can set it in light. As you can tell, these are 1 coats. This is one of the reasons why I like the D&D polish, is 1 good solid coat. I mean, I tend to do 2 on certain things that I'm doing, but it's so nice to know your colors and know that you have a good quality product for a good price and how to work with it. So always play around. So this one, like I said, I'm going to make it a cateye. Cateyes are always best on a black or a dark base. You put your gel polish on. Long, even coats. So cateye has magnetic fibers in it, or pieces, and holding a magnet to it allows it to give you the cateye effect. Let that set. So here's a good troubleshooting. So see how sometimes gel polishes don't go well together? I've learned with all the cateyes it does this. See how it kind of separates? There's not an oil on the nail. So what I find is it's best, let's go in and remove that with alcohol. So I'm going to remove the tacky layer off of the black as well, because I believe it's a tacky layer with the magnetic fibers that just don't allow it to go smooth. Let the alcohol dry off of the nail. And then come in with that again. And I don't know if there's lots of others out there. I've not had a problem with my chameleons. I've only had a problem with cateye, so I'm convinced it has something to do with the magnetic pieces that are in it. See how I got a smoother finish? It's not shrinking up. So at this point, you take your magnet. On a long nail like this, you might get away with two. So here's some troubleshooting. We get to play a little bit. Let me turn this light on. Okay. So I hold the magnet. I'm going straight on. Hold it there without touching it, and then lift it straight up. And you can get that solid line. Sometimes if you take it and you hold it on there, and you roll it up, you don't get the sharpness that you get when you go straight on and straight down. If you mess up, this is gel polish, so it's not set in the light yet. You can come in, re-smooth it back out, and then come at it again. I'm going to see if on a long nail like this I might be able to do two. So I'm going to hold it up here at the top, and then come down and hold it here again, and lift it straight out. So you get a lot longer effect. So when you're doing cat eyes, I find the trick is to do one nail at a time. Let it set just a moment. The longer you let it set, the longer the magnetic pieces go out, and the more and more design and sharpness is going to go away. And so by doing one nail, let it set for a moment, set in the light, do one other nail. One at a time helps keep it sharp to where your cat eye is very pronounced. So I'll show you again. And there's lots of different magnet shapes that are out now, so you can do a design. There's even pens. I actually ordered one, and I ordered it. I just won't say the company because it's not a kind comment, but I ordered it, and the magnet doesn't even draw the design, but they have magnetic pins to where you would hold the end of it, and you can draw a design magnetically and then put it into the light. However, my magnetic pin is not strong enough for this gel polish, so I don't get to play with that yet. Okay, so your magnet straight on. Hold it for a moment and then straight up. And you get that sharpness. And then set that in the light rather immediately so that it stays sharp like that. So here's my stamped nail. I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat. Even though it's a nice one solid, I know that this is my base nail and it's going to be stamped on, and I just want to make sure that if it was on my client, I would do two coats. Allow that to set a moment. And then set that in your light. There's that cat eye. So there is a sticky layer, a tacky layer off of the cat eye gel polishes, or at least this brand. You can always test it by touch your finger a little bit and feel the stickiness. So it's fun to, I told you it's fun to do the galaxy nail using a cat eye. So in the area where it doesn't reflect, like maybe this area, come in with your additive. Not a lot of times do I do things with my fingers. In this case I am. I want just a tiny bit. And I'm going to come in and just dab it into just a couple places. I like to use my makeup wedge and push it into that gel polish. You need to encapsulate anytime you use additives or glitters and whatnot. Once again, I encapsulate with the base coat. You'll notice that when you encapsulate it, the additive kind of melts into that color. It allows the color to show through it from underneath, giving you a nice starry sky effect. Anytime you encapsulate, make sure you cap the free edge and around. So it gives you a nice movement. Once again, you would let that set just a moment so everything can settle down. And then you would set it in the light for 1 minute. Okay, so here's my white polish now. I'm going to show you stamping on here. I'm confident of just taking the alcohol and wiping off the tacky layer. However, if stamping is a struggle for you and you just can't seem to get it on there right and you want a foolproof way, then I suggest putting a matte finish top coat, because gloss will stick to matte. Okay, so this is a top coat. It will allow me to stamp onto the matte finish and it will stay, and then I can top coat on top of that without buffing this layer. So apply the matte finish. Allow that to settle. I use matte finish when I color block. I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. I use matte finish quite a bit, and not usually for what it's intended for. So I let that settle and place that in the light for its 1 minute. So this one we have the cateye. I added a little additive to it. I've encapsulated it with my base coat. I want to add some artwork to that. If you wanted to add foiling, you could come in at this time and add little pieces of foil to give it another dimension. Not too much, you know, to take away the effect and the cateye effect. Once the foiling's on, I can rub my alcohol on there. It will not take my foiling off, because it's already embedded into that tacky layer. Remove the tacky layer. Come in with your striper paint or your gel polish paint. Get a little bit on your bristles to where it's not dripping. And with your finest hand, come in and paint your little stars for your galaxy now, or turn them into snowflakes, however you want. Let's make this one longer. Maybe another added one up here. I like to take my fine point dotting tool where it just comes to a point, dip it in my paint, maybe add a little cluster of the stars coming off. Like I said, this is, you know, more of a galaxy now. I'm making kind of a mess. So you have cat eye with some extra prism in there. Nail art just makes it fun. Fix this. The foiling's up underneath there to give you some of that chunky look. So in this case, you wait for that. So this is striper paint, so it's lacquer, so it just needs to air dry for a moment, and then you would top coat that. I'll put that to the side. Here's our stamping one. So I have a layer of matte finish top coat on there. I'm going to remove the tacky layer. And this is how you can be what I call foolproof with stamping. Okay, so I have a matte finish. It seems like the stamping paint and lacquer sticks great to a matte finish, and so that's why I have better luck with it. I'm going to pull on my paper towel because I make a mess when I stamp. For fun, I'm going to bring in red and green. I'm going to show you how you can stamp with two colors. I'm going to use my Young Nails Caption Stamper. And just because we're on a Christmas theme, I'm going to do some snowflakes with the colors. It's probably not something I would normally do on a client, but it'll be fun. So it's important to use stamping paint for stamping. I think that's another key factor in here. Let me get some more light in here. And you have to work with it fast. Well, hold on a second, guys. I think I already got out my supplies. I'm confusing myself. My scraper, and it's clear as I couldn't see it in my drawer. So you need to work fast when you use stamping paint, and if you use stamping polish itself, you use the right kind of jelly stamper that's super, super sticky. See that? That's what you need to be able to pick up the paint. And so when a lot of people are trying to use regular lacquer to do it with, or try to, shortcut it a little bit, I think that's where sometimes you can have issues. So I'm going to use my makeup wedge. It has the acetone, 100% acetone on it. I'm going to clean off my snowflake plate. I know a lot of people say don't use acetone on your jelly stamper, but it's what makes it work the best. I clean that off. Some of the advantages, you go down to your beauty supply. These are removable. You can buy a new jelly piece if you want. You get like 4 of them for like $2. So to be able to use acetone on it does not bother me one bit, as I know that I can replace those pieces. It does cloudy it a little bit. I can still see through to stamp where I need to go. And so I just replace this as needed. Once again, I clean the side of my stamping. All my stamping stuff is clean and wiped down with acetone and ready to go. I take my color. With some companies like Wildflowers and stuff, they just show you to put like a dot on there and move it around. I'm not good at that. I just cover the whole thing. Swipe it if you can with one movement. Pick up your design. At this time you can play around with it a little bit. I'll come in and I will remove the other if I just want one portion of this on there. And then on that matte finish, I can see where I'm stamping. So I'm going to stamp that here. I'm going to press straight on, and then I can come and roll it off. You can see all the tiny details in there. if we constantly get it, so like going straight onto the stamping plate isn't always the easiest. You kind of want to roll onto the stamping plate, but go straight onto the nail and then roll off. The more you practice with this, the more you'll understand what I'm talking about with that. So between every single one, I clean my stamper, I clean the swiper. I don't want anything to hinder my stamping to be on the next one to mess it up, because stamping can be frustrating. Just for some fun, I'm going to show you how you can dual tone. So I'm going to use green, and I'm just going to come across a couple of these. And red. Of course, green and red mixed together makes like a brown, so I don't want to, really mix them across there. I'm going to redo that. I'm going to show you on one snowflake how you can get the two colors. I didn't quite line it up right. Here, I'll pick on this one right here. So half green, half red, wipe that across, pick it up. And push it straight down and on where you want it, and then be able to roll that off. And it seems like we're doing a fade down the nail, so I'll just continue on with the fades on my next snowflake. And I'm going to do the green. I didn't wipe this off. Pick that up. Stamp it down, you can see it through there. Rock it off. So remember, it's on a matte finish. So actually the way this looks, it's kind of fun to stay matte, or you can turn it gloss. We can encapsulate our stamping with a little bit of a glitter, which, hey, more festive, so I'm going to add a glitter to this. In fact, I have a glitter top coat, so I can just do this in one step. While I'm glitter top coating that, I'm going to regular top coat this one. Hey Vicky, yes, we did a little stamping. Stamping is one that we see in our groups people struggle with, and it's not a struggle if you know the little extra techniques of what to do. So that has just a very soft glitter. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. A little bit of a sparkle to it. And a gloss finish. So I'm going to let that set just a moment so it will settle down. And then set that in the light for your 1 minute. And this galaxy now with the cat eye. I'm going to add a regular top coat to it. What is this one? Even though that's lacquer and it would take a while for that to wear off, I still think it's important to go ahead and finalize the coat every step of the way. Cap the edges. Very pretty. Allow that to settle in to where I know that it's smoothed out any brush strokes. I don't know if you can see the foiling in there, how it gives a different effect. I like the little bit of chunkiness that foiling can add. And then likewise set that in the minute for one light, or set it in the light for 1 minute. So an added fun. So Vicky, right now I'm using, for that I used Young Nails Conversion Top. This is their gel gel polish top coat. I love playing with top coats. I have so many different top coats. The one that I'm waiting to use right now that I think I have coming is the Miss You Gloss. I hear it's one of the glossiest ones and I want it so bad. Okay, so I have all this encapsulated into a glitter top coat. This is the fun time where you can bring in a 3D, like stones. Yeah, you can tell. Shine. So when I go 3D, I use Max's Gummy Jelly. I've used hard gel for many years, and hard gel works well too, but his Gummy Jelly is definitely made for 3D. It's super thick. It's definitely gummy jelly. I apply it with a dotting tool. In this case, just for fun, I'm going to add just some regular silver stones. Let's see, we have 3 of them on there. I'll put 1 on each. So the gummy jelly will stick to your top coat, so I don't have to etch it in that spot. Add where I want to add my stones. I still have the gel on the tip of my dotting tool, so I can use it as my picker up tool, and then push it into that gummy jelly. Then you set that light for its cure time of, like I said, I do everything 1 minute because you're not going to over cure it. I'd set in the light for 1 minute, and then that one's done. It's already been top coated. You have your stones adhered to it, and it's ready to go. Since we made that one 3D, added stones to it, I'm going to add stones to this one too. So come in, remove the tacky layer, allow that to dry. What happens if it overcures? Well, if it overcures, it seems like it just gets brittle. However, to overcure it is a long time. I'm putting it in there for a minute. So overcuring, if you go in layer after layer, I don't know what the breaking point is for it, but it takes a lot to overcure. I mean, think how often when we're done with this and we go out in the UV light, the UV is continuously to cure it. So over time, you can see it'll get brittle. But in the salon when we're doing this, we're not going to overcure it by keeping the light for that minute. Might get a little warm on your client's hands, so you might want to look into that. Mine is a LED UV, so it doesn't produce as much heat as like what a UV would do. Once again, you can add this gummy jelly right over your top coat. Even if you're using hard gel, you can apply it right over top of the top coat. Pick up your stone, push it into place. For that client that likes that added effect. I personally can't wear the stones. I want to pick them off. They make me crazy. Alright, set that in the light. So here's our stamping flake. I'm going to pretend this was in the light for a whole minute. And there's the finish of those two. Once again, I'll take a picture up close so that you can see the detail up close, and then you can continue to watch these videos so that you can go back and master it. It's always fun to master a few techniques, so when clients come in, you can say, hey, I have a design that we can do. It's quick, it's easy, it's a go-to product, so you know where to find it. Alright, so I'll start another video. I'm going to do a color blocking one and have a little bit of more fun. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet, but if there's any pictures of something that you want me to show you live during this entire week, not even just today, then send them to me and we can see what we can do to show you how to work that. All right, see you soon.